The smell of my mother's pot roast filled the house as I stood frozen outside the dining room, my hand raised to push open the door. I'd just run upstairs to grab my portfolio. Dad had asked to see the designs for my firm's latest project, and was heading back when I heard my boyfriend's voice, low and conspiratorial. "Look, Mr. Garrison, I need to be honest with you." That was Tyler's serious voice, the one he used for client presentations and asking for raises. My stomach tightened. "About what, son?" My father's voice was warm, welcoming. He'd loved Tyler from day one. The all-American boy who played lacrosse at Cornell and worked at Goldman Sachs. Every father's dream for his daughter. About Jessica. I pressed myself against the wall, heart hammering. Through the crack in the door, I could see them at the table. Tyler leaned forward man-to-man, while my mother bustled in the kitchen and my teenage sister Sophie scrolled through her phone. Jessica's cute, but no wife skills. Tyler's words hit like physical blows. Can't cook, too career-focused. I mean, she's great for now, but for a family? For kids? She works 80-hour weeks. She can't even make eggs without burning them. Sophie's head snapped up from her phone, eyes wide. Dad's expression didn't change, but I saw his fingers tighten on his wine glass. "I see," Dad said mildly. "And this concerns you?" "Of course it does." Tyler pulled something from his pocket, a small velvet box. My chest constricted. "I'm 32, Mr. Garrison. It's time to settle down. Start a family. I need someone who'll prioritize our home, not chase partnership at some firm." "Some firm?" Dad's eyebrow raised. "You mean Garrison, Klein, and Associates?" "The firm her great-grandfather founded." Tyler waved dismissively. "Architecture's cute as a hobby, but my wife won't need to work. I make enough. I need someone who can host dinners, manage the household, raise kids. Jessica can barely manage her own laundry." "That's because she's busy designing the new children's hospital," Sophie interjected, voice sharp. "You know, the one that'll save actual lives?" "Sophie," Mom called from the kitchen, "come help me with dessert." "But Mom." "Now." Sophie shot Tyler a look of pure venom but stood. As she passed the door, she saw me. Her eyes widened, then narrowed with determination. She mouthed, "Record this," and pointed to my phone. I was already ahead of her, phone out, video rolling. "The thing is," Tyler continued, oblivious, "I've been patient. 3 years, I've waited for Jessica to grow out of this phase. But she just made partner, and now she's talking about expanding internationally. When would she have time for our children?" "Your children," Dad repeated. "Have you discussed children with Jessica? Women always come around once they see the ring." Tyler opened the box, revealing a massive diamond. 2 carats. Cost me 3 months' salary. Once she sees this, she'll forget all about buildings and blueprints. "Will she?" Dad's voice was dangerously quiet. "Tell me, Tyler, what do you think Jessica wants?" "What every woman wants. Security. Status. A successful husband." Tyler puffed up. "I'm a catch, Mr. Garrison. VP at Goldman, 6-figure bonus, country club membership. I'm offering her a life most women dream of. And what are you asking in return?" "A wife. A real wife. Someone who has dinner ready when I get home, who keeps the house perfect, who looks good at company events." Tyler leaned back, confident. "My boss's wife, now that's marriage material. Columbia English degree, but she hasn't worked a day since the wedding. Runs their household like a Fortune 500. That's what I need." "I see." Dad set down his wine glass. "And Jessica knows none of this?" "Of course not. You don't tell a woman she's not marriage material. You propose, get her excited about the wedding, then slowly transition her out of work." Tyler smirked. "My mom did it. Worked until the first kid, then understood her real job was supporting my father." "Your mother?" Dad's smile was razor-sharp. "The one who calls Jessica that career girl at every family function? Mom knows what makes a marriage work. 40 years with Dad." 40 years. Dad nodded. "Tell me, Tyler, what would you do if Jessica refused to quit?" Tyler laughed. "She won't. Once she's pregnant, hormones kick in. They all want a nest. It's biology." My hands shook with rage. 3 years. 3 years of my life with this man who saw me as a renovation project. "Good thing she doesn't need a husband," Dad said suddenly, his voice cutting through Tyler's chuckle. "Excuse me? Jessica doesn't need a husband." Dad stood, all 6'4" of him towering over Tyler. "She just made partner at the firm. Youngest in our history. Do you know why? Diversity hire?" Tyler suggested, then blanched at Dad's expression. Because she's brilliant, Dad said coldly. Because she works harder than anyone I know. Because while you were playing golf with clients, she was designing sustainable housing that won international awards. Because she doesn't need anyone's money or status or approval. She builds her own life. Mr. Garrison. She can't cook, Dad continued. She orders from 5-star restaurants. Can't do laundry? She has a service. Too career-focused? That career will shape skylines for generations. You think she needs to manage your household? She manages multi-million-dollar projects and 100-person teams. But what about family? What about it? Sophie had returned, Mom behind her. Jess wants kids someday. She's talked about having a nanny, like Mom did when she went back to the hospital. Mom. Dr. Catherine Garrison, head of pediatric surgery at Mount Sinai, who'd raised 3 kids while saving others' children, who couldn't cook either, which is why we had a housekeeper. This is ridiculous, Tyler sputtered. I'm offering her everything. You're offering her a cage, Mom said quietly. A golden cage, but still a cage. The engagement ring in your pocket? Dad smiled. You can return it. Jessica won't be needing it. You can't decide that for her. No, I said, pushing open the door. But I can. The room froze. Tyler's face went white, then red, then white again. Jessica. How long? Long enough. I held up my phone. Long enough to record you telling my father I'm not marriage material. Long enough to hear your plan to transition me out of work. Long enough to understand that 3 years of my life were wasted on someone who sees me as a fixer-upper. Babe, I didn't mean. Yes, you did. I walked to the table, steady despite my shaking hands. Every word. You meant it when you said I was cute but no wife skills. You meant it when you dismissed my career as a phase. You meant it when you said you'd wait for hormones to make me compliant. Jess, let's talk about this privately. No. I pulled out a chair and sat. We'll talk about it here. In front of my family. The people who actually know my worth. This is emotional. I'm not emotional. I'm done. I looked at the ring box. 2 carats? 3 months' salary? That's what you think I'm worth. It's a beautiful ring. It's a collar. I stood. And I don't need one. I make my own money. I own my own condo. I'm building a legacy. What exactly were you bringing to this relationship besides outdated expectations and a country club membership I could buy myself? I loved you. You loved the idea of me. The potential wife you could mold. I laughed, but it wasn't funny. Do you know what I did yesterday? Presented to the city council. Got approval for a homeless shelter design that'll help thousands. But you're right. I should definitely quit to make sure your shirts are pressed. Sophie snorted. Tyler glared at her. This is why you're not marriage material, he snapped. Too aggressive. Too independent. Too much. I suggested. Fine. I'm too much. Better than being too little. You'll regret this. Tyler stood, pocketing the ring. Women like you end up alone. 40 bitter, surrounded by blueprints instead of babies. Maybe, I agreed. Or maybe I'll end up like Mom, saving lives and raising kids. Or like Zaha Hadid, dying at 65 after reshaping architecture. Or maybe I'll end up exactly where I want, designing buildings that outlive both of us while you're still explaining to dates why your ex wasn't marriage material. This is exactly what I mean. Tyler headed for the door. No real man wants a woman who competes with him. Then I guess I'll have to find a real man, I called after him. One who sees a partner, not a project. The front door slammed. The dining room was silent. Then Sophie started slow clapping. That was awesome. Sophie, Mom chided, but she was smiling. Dad walked over and pulled me into a hug. You okay, kiddo? I will be, I said into his shirt. Just 3 years, Dad. How did I not see it? Because you loved him, Mom said gently. And love makes us hope people are better than they show us. The video, Sophie said eagerly. Please tell me you're posting it. Sophie, Mom scolded. What? Let other women know what they're dating. I looked at my phone, at Tyler's smug face frozen on the screen. No, I'm deleting it. He's not worth any more of my time. But I've got buildings to design, I said firmly. Cities to reshape. A legacy to build. Tyler Madison can find someone else to shrink for him. I'm done playing small. That's my girl, Dad said proudly. Besides, I added, grinning at Sophie, I recorded him admitting he thinks architects are cute hobbyists. Wait until the American Institute of Architects hears that Goldman Sachs VPs think design is adorable. You wouldn't, Sophie gasped. Wouldn't I? I winked. I may not have wife skills, but I've got excellent professional networking abilities. That's definitely my girl, Mom laughed. Later that night, I sat in my condo, the one I'd bought myself, decorated myself, lived in myself, and looked at my drafting table. The children's hospital plans were spread out, waiting for final touches. Tomorrow, I'd present to the board. Next week, we'd break ground. In 10 years, sick kids would get better in something I created. Tyler's ring would have been 2 carats. My buildings would shelter thousands. No contest. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Hi, Jessica. This is Marcus Chin from the mayor's office. Loved your shelter presentation. Free for coffee Tuesday. Have a huge project you'd be perfect for. P.S. My wife's an architect too. I cook. I smiled and typed back. Coffee sounds great. Fair warning, I'm apparently not marriage material. His response was immediate. Perfect. My wife says marriage material is overrated. Building material is what changes the world. I laughed, really laughed, for the first time all day. Tyler was right about one thing. I'd never be the wife he wanted. Thank God for that.